to the computer. Hello and welcome to the Poets Lounge. I am your hostess, Paulette Henson, and today is Friday, January 5th, 2024. So happy to have all of the poets here joining me. We have live today Miss Tina Jackson, and Nairobi, and Rob Ace, and Creek. And we also have a guest in our audience. And I'm sorry, what's your name again? I can see your face, but
Oh,
anyway.
it's Annalicia. I just put my initials, my maiden initials.
Annalicia, welcome to the Poets Lounge. So happy to have you joining us
Thank you.
today. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get started with our show. Our poets are live and ready to go. So who's going to be first up?
So I'll go first.
All right, Tina, go ahead.
So this is my first poem I ever wrote. I wrote it on November 24th, 2019. And it's called Anger. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. But you're so filled with rage, it's destroying us. And I feel my love is starting to fade. Why are you so angry? I have seen this many times before, been the brunt of someone's rage. You're still angry even at your age? Why have you not gotten help? Surely you must know your anger is driving everyone away, yet some of us still stay. I'm so tired and worn out. Your anger is uncontrollable. Why am I at this place again? Am I really that gullible? For my sanity and peace of mind, I've got to move on, disconnect and find true peace. All this mess is about to cease. God didn't put me here to be abused, but rather to be used by Him.
Wow, that was good. That was deep.
Thanks.
Wow. So,
That was my ex. He was always angry.
you know, what's up with people that are angry about, that, and then they lash out at you because they're mad about something else.
Yes, yes.
Wow. So you got your inspiration from just that experience. And I
Yeah.
love how you captured that, because there's always those uncomfortable times when you know that you're feeling good and then someone else is like, you can feel that energy.
Yes.
It's kind of sad because, it's people don't know how to respond to things. They just immediately open up that anger door, and jump in.
Yes.
Oh, that was awesome. Very, very good. So who's up next?
I could, I could go. That's cool. All right. Do you think we'll have time to go around again, or just one time?
We'll go around again.
We can go around again.
Yeah.
We can
All
go.
right. I was just wondering. So yeah, this piece is called "Status Quo." It's pretty new. So kind of want some feedback on it. Man, if you would have told a 24 to 26-year-old Rob you'd be single again at 31, I would have laughed heartily. But it's true. I'm not asking for sympathy. This isn't a boo-hoo. But my boo-hoo, still searching honestly. I'm done looking. Lurking around love will do me no good. I'm on my own. Ice Cold Ace Holmes, aka Rob O'Neill, and old Monica, yet I don't keep it that real. I'm just authentic, raw, visceral. The best relationship I have is with mental health, art, family, and friends. Love will arrive right on time. I'm not stressed about it. I have to give a big shout to the Soul Tribe. We're deep in the soul ties. Y'all are my family. Give a damn about love, Black love, the brotherhood of various hues. I love you equal, true. In 2024, I should remain, in 2024, I should step further into my truth. Speaking at events, schools, more collaborations. Love, I shall find you and truly appreciate your entire essence. Yeah, you have many forms, and the family and friends vein shall reign the most true. I appreciate you. Peace.
Wow.
Oof,
Wow.
good. Wow.
Wow. I love that Ace. That was I like the part where you talk about speaking in schools and that.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope. So what was your inspiration?
just kind of. I mean, it's called status quo, so it's kind of just where I'm at in life, and I guess not being really phased by love. Like, I think it's cool to like from the outside perspective. Like, I've seen my friends like, you know, get in a relationship, they get married, have kids, and it's good. It's good if it's like a healthy thing, if it's like the right thing to do, and if it is like, contributing to something greater than just a relationship. Like, because when you have a child, you're not really living for you no more. So I think for me, my craft is what I've been cultivating.
Yeah, I hear you.
Mhm.
When you talk about relationships, and we kind of touched on that last month about people in relationships. I think it was Sharice was married. She's been married for 25 years or something like that.
Mhm.
And so it's not always the easiest thing. I think that people that have been married for a long time, they have stories to tell. It's not every day is not rainbows and cupcakes, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's definitely true.
you go through some challenging, you know, where you're pushed to the core sometimes. Even Michelle Obama, she talked about well, she said her mother and her mom and dad, they were together for a long time. And her mother talks about times where she literally had packed her bags to leave her dad and, decided to stay. And so it just tells you that, you don't know a person really until, what hits the fan. I mean, that's when you really, uh,
Yeah.
can
Real self.
you can deal with that. I want to see you when you're mad, not when I want to see you happy too. But what happens when, something happens? How do you act with that? How do you respond? And so I think that over time, as you get older, things affect you in different ways and you respond in different ways. I know that I do. I don't I don't yell, scream. I really don't like to argue or any of that because it's a waste of my time and it makes me tired. So
It really does.
talk about status quo, yeah, like you start emerging as a person as who you are to the core, and you just start making decisions. Well, you know what? I'm not going to deal with that no more, or I'm not going to deal with this, or I am. You start making like hard decisions on what type of people that you're going to allow in your life. And
Mhm.
and so when you talk about status quo, I can totally relate to that. Because you just get to that point, even with relationships, and I see people, friends that have been married a long time, and now that their kids are grown, it's like they really have gone separate ways. Like they don't, they're different. People change, and so that's a hard bear to follow, I think. And everybody's different. So one, you got to love yourself, right? That's number one. You got to be true to yourself, love yourself before you can even begin to, incorporate someone else in your life. So I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment too. I want to say it was really good because it seemed like it was a poem of maturity and reflection, that you're looking at your life. Like when you said when you were 24, you didn't think at 31 you'd be single, and that's deep because I think that way sometimes too. And it's like, why am I single now? But it's just sometimes it's just that's how it is, and you just have to embrace it. So that was a great poem, Ace.
Yeah, yeah, because
Thank you.
you bring that out, and I think a lot of us, me too. You have this image in your mind of what you want to be when you're younger, or what you see your life like. Oh, everything's beautiful. You have your family, and you're going on trips and all of that stuff, and baking cookies, but it's so much things come into play, and so
So much.
it is it's a lot, and so I'm grateful just to be here, and to not everybody made it,
Yeah.
and not a lot of my friends, people, I mean, they just, hey, so
Yeah.
what do you do? What do you do?
And I just wanted to make a comment also, is that a lot of times people get together and they're really not, they might like each other, but they're just not compatible. Like I got married at age 20. I was married for 10 years. And it's not that my husband, he wasn't a bad person. He wasn't abusive or anything, but he was a homebody, and I like to go out.
Mhm.
And so right there was a rift because he literally would never go out with me. So
Mm.
I would go out with all of my girlfriends and we would go to plays and movies, and he would just sit at home. And I'm like, when you should be with someone that you want to do the same things together. So you really have to get to know a person, like really, really get to know them, and say it has to be about more than just you're cute or I like you. Like, can we do this long term? What do we have in common?
Yeah, you're right. Because over time, things will bother you, you need to be compatible, or at least be able to meet halfway, with some things. Because, some people don't like sports, or, some people do like sports. Some people, you just gotta weigh it out,
Yeah.
so nice, nice. That was a good discussion. Thank you, Ace, for that, because you kind of brought up some things with me too. I'm thinking, yeah, what's my status quo? You know,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
based on what, me in my 20s versus now, it's
No.
things change,
Crazy.
right? All right, who do we have up next? Nairobi, are you next? Or how about
I'll go.
you go? Okay.
I've had this tucked away. I wrote it last year. I've never read it out loud. So this is my first time.
Hey, come on with
It's called America.
it. Ooh.
Murders occurred in America. Blood soaked in America's soil. Bones buried under America's land. Flesh corroded on America's ground, which found some of the most gruesome assassinations that built America's foundation. Murders that depleted a human race. American Indians most left without a trace. The beautiful indigenous people of America can hardly be found anywhere at all. The story of their downfall will never be recalled. It was known at some degree that they were intentionally diseased, betrayed, beaten, violated, mutilated, and murdered, then written in books that their land was discovered, forced to America's land, a new set of man, brought over by the dozens on the bottom of ships Many never made it. This seed became their crypt. And the ones that did became someone's prophet. The terrible stories of their murders hasn't been truthfully told, as if the truth doesn't want to be unfold. A people treated cold, inhumane. Their murderers had to be insane. The way they would murder this group of people, sometimes using chains to bound them to trees left there for days, giving nothing to eat, died from starvation. If the wind could speak and tree limbs had speech, we would receive stories from how a people were hung, lynched with a noose around their neck and hands tied behind their back, a sick way to die, never given a fighting chance. And the story of the glance and the whistle from a 14-year-old boy whose body was destroyed. His mother never got closure. His story never got true exposure. Stepped out of line, got severely tortured. This group, too, were raped, beaten, whipped to death, some set on fire. Didn't matter the age. Some were even used as bait. This was their fate, every day afraid. Some ended up on dinner plates. Some dismembered or disfigured. A lot died because of a figure behind the trigger, savagely killed because of being a nigger. That's how we were viewed. Cases of murders taking place right here on America's land. Malcolm X, Andrew Goodman, Medgar Evers, Reverend George Lee, Lamar Smith, Emmett Till, Mac Charles Parker, Herbert Lee, Addie Mae Collins, Dennis McNair, Harold Robinson, Cynthia Wesley, Billie Holiday, Jaheim McMillan, Ali Osman, Donovan Lewis, Robert Adams, Tamala Hosford, Tupac Shakur. I could name more. This was just to name a few. The killings are by the thousands, right here on America's grounds, and most of the murderers never found. Never went through court system fairly to get justice. This system's corrupted. A country built off of bloodshed. That's it.
Woo! Oh,
Man,
wow. That was deep.
yeah,
Thank
amazing.
Wow.
And unfortunately, it's true. You know, it's not a fairy tale. I remember one time I went to this, with my boyfriend, we went on a resort somewhere, it was in Massachusetts. And I'll never forget, we saw this tree, and I still have the picture somewhere, but in the tree, you could see a man's face. It was like clear, clear, clear. And I said to my boyfriend, someone was hung on that tree. And he's like, why are you so morbid? And I'm like, someone was hung on that tree. You see the face in it. So I mean, it was haunting.
Wow.
You said where was that? North Carolina?
No, it was in Massachusetts, in Boston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was crazy. It was real. It was so real. And it was like that person would want to leave their imprint,
Right.
you know. And they
Right.
say even like in New York, in Wall Street and all those areas, those were they brought the Black people there as slaves and kept them, used them there. But you don't ever hear about that.
Yeah. I have a book that talks about that. They don't really talk about how slave trade and how we were treated, but we were treated that way up north too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was more hidden away, but it was the same thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was deep, girl.
One thing that this is sort of controversial, but Tupac Shakur, for some reason, I think Tupac is still alive. I've been seeing pictures of Tupac Shakur. I'm serious. Like, I've
Wow.
seen photos of Tupac Shakur now, you know, how he looks now.
Wow.
And so when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, really, I've seen some pictures of Tupac, and I'll see if I can find them, where he's got some gray hairs. I mean, I'm like, whoa, like what really happened? So
I
from what
mean, like
understand, it's, after a certain amount of time,
Right.
if you listen, Machiavelli talks about that, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Machiavelli. He wrote, yeah,
Like
yeah.
been saying that like since that because he came out with Machiavelli, but like even if he's not dead, it's like it still kind of murdered
Right,
his
Right,
character, what he was trying to do, because they were afraid of that. They don't care, like me, I'm talking like that, but I don't have any followers, so I can talk like that all day. But
right.
once you start getting followers and having people listen to you and maybe have people to wake up, that's when you become a problem. So they assassinate his dream and what he wanted to do.
Right. They were
Yeah.
trying to assassinate his voice, yeah, his message. And, yeah, and so that's, and I've also heard he's laid some tracks too.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a trip. I'll have to find that, and I've just been blown away by it. Like, how do you go away? I mean, and all the pieces of the puzzle are kind of going to, they're fitting with everything that he said, and then versus now, because, he passed away, he said he did, or we thought he did, but who really knows?
Right. They said they never had the funeral. No one ever saw his body.
Right.
And that when
Okay.
that was going on, I was in my domestic relationship, so I wasn't really aware of what everything. But yeah, they said there was no body.
Hmm.
I think
So what happened?
I gotta contest that because I saw the autopsy photo and like apparently he lost like part of his finger, he lost like part of his lung, and I think some was up with his vocal cords. So like I don't know if I know he did a lot of stuff while he was here between the movies and the music. Like he did a lot of music. Like
Yeah.
I just gotta I mean I'm not knocking anybody's belief, but I'm just based on what I know because I'm a huge
Yeah.
I heard that too, Rob. I heard that too, that people that saw the
yeah
autopsy lost all of that, what you just said.
And
yeah.
I saw a photo of an autopsy with the body, and it said Thug Life. It was his
Mm,
tattoo. But
mm,
what? Yeah, but I've also been,
We have brand new music.
yeah, there's music with him
mm,
that's new.
Brand new.
mm.
But they said he made a lot. He made a
Unless
lot of
there's
music.
purpose.
When
Yeah.
he made a lot of music, and he wrote a lot of poetry. And
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah.
colleges is White College. I can't remember which one it is, but they're actually using his poetry in one of their courses.
What?
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been going on for real. Cause
Mm-hmm. This
he
is
was writing poetry before he was rapping.
one
Right.
of
Yeah.
those colleges is
Yeah.
definitely poetry.
I think Tupac was cremated too, because maybe that has something to do. I don't know about the funeral situation, but I think he was cremated if I'm not mistaken.
But I heard there wasn't even a death certificate.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's what they said. I'm like, what if because people wouldn't leave him alone? He did Machiavelli. He faked his own death. How would we really know? And maybe they put something that looks like him in the autopsy. I don't know.
You never know a Hollywood.
I would be happy though if he was alive. I'm in love with him.
Yeah.
Baby, I loved him. Tina, I
There
loved him.
was a story that his mother got,
She got caught.
she was caught at the airport with 100 million going to Barbados.
What?
That, and though some of those photos, he's like somewhere. And this is, I'm telling you, this is recent. So who knows? I don't
I
know.
have a photo of him with Keith Sweat.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So I'll show you guys some I'll share with you guys some of the stuff that I've seen, because I've been, what do you do with that? You don't, but we know what we saw and we heard, and it all went down, and then I don't know. So
I would be crushed to find out if he's still alive because my dream was to graduate from Deep Creek High School and move to California so I could meet him.
Aw. It's never too late if he's still alive, girl.
Right.
I
No,
love
but
Tupac.
I love Tupac. I love all his music. I mean, he's a poet at heart for sure.
Stood for. They said that they always wanted to show in the media like this so-called thug life, but they weren't showing like the footwork that he was really doing in the communities, especially like in Baltimore. Like he was
Oh,
really out here doing some stuff for the
wow.
people.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
He was trying to, I know he was trying to record like an album called One Nation, and it would have been like in the middle of the East Coast, West Coast, which was like propaganda by the media. But yeah, he definitely wanted, he did a lot. He doesn't get the credit because I think the negative image of him is probably easier for the media to digest and
Oh, yeah.
exploit, you know. But yeah, I just wish he could have like had time to like kind of lay everything out and kind of see some things coming to fruition, you know, because I think once he got rid of Death Row, that was definitely a trap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's Suge Knight, man.
Yeah, that
Oof.
Suge Knight is he's a terrible person. He's a terrible.
Yeah.
I had actually one of my friends, I've known her since the second grade. She was a publisher or an artist. She was an artist. I think she created one of Tupac's album covers, but she worked for Death Row. And we had a conversation about, just a little bit about that whole experience. And all I can say is thank God that I didn't go along that path because I was headed there. I was doing little videos and, you know, pop-ups. You know how they have the video and the girls are dancing. I could have clearly been one of them people and all that, but my parents are like, no, we're moving away from all that. You're not gonna. So thank God that they did because I would have been right in the middle of all that death row stuff, and it was bad. Those, that Suge Knight he's a horrible person, but
Yeah.
okay, so let's move on. Who do we have next, Mr. Creek?
Yes, sir. Creek.
Creek. Creek is like, this
I was
is
hoping about it. What'd you say?
I'm like, you're like, this is a whole nother show. Now we're talking about Tupac and is he alive or not?
No, that's on par. That's on brand. Now I was hoping that by the time y'all finish, I would have something to do, but I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do.
Wow.
Oh, you can recite a Tupac song. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't. Everything he said was haram. Everything he said.
That's not true. We got Dear Mama. You got to keep your head up. That's not true.
Dear Mama.
I'm sure I
Yeah,
can find haram lyrics in there somewhere. I can figure it out. No, but I guess I'll do this. So, hold on, I'm gonna close the door. I'm sorry.
Hey, maybe that's the idea. We can recite some artist lyrics.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right, so I guess I'll do this one because Kiba went kind of conscious. Not kind of conscious, very conscious. So I'll go kind of conscious, I guess.
Okay.
I don't think I've done this one here. They sell lies, but I don't buy. Blow smoke in my face till it clouds my mind. Lace my front like hair or wine. Said, lace my front like hair or wine. But every vice scene, I'm fighting dry eyes. Because I'm sleeping with my eyes open. And I don't even blink when they come around. Everybody want the crown, want to see the king cry blood and the rain fall down. Open your third eye, watch what you seeking. It's cold out here, so you can watch what you speaking. Realize the throne is the hot seat. Judas ate a feast and he betrayed the yeast. Eating with your homies, but you're dining with Iblis. Drinking 2 types of gin, you're deceased and diseased. What you think they'll do to you? They betrayed Jesus. Sitting on your dean just because you're the East. Let me catch my brief. Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe. like I'm dying on a New York street, or like I'm dying under a racist cop's knee crying for my mommy, or like I'm dying on a Baltimore street with a chokehold squeezing, I can't breathe. But do we garner any sympathy? Hurts to walk in our shoes, no empathy. Instead you turn a blind eye. Instead of thinking, you try to cover new sins with old lies. How can you change my mind when you ain't the ones out here dying? And freedom ain't never been free. It costs at least 20 cents to change just one paradigm. So that's why when I meet my brothers, I say, salam, my brothers. Try to get together and shed light, my brothers. I'll never deny my brothers. Black men unite, illuminate the night. That's it. I messed it up a lot, but that's it.
Love that.
Yes, yes.
Wow. I love that. So tell us your inspiration. Like,
That one, I wrote that with I don't want to be too long winded, but I accepted Islam in 2018. I met this kid. He was in the military too, and I just happened to meet him. Like I was looking into Islam and just trying to steal stuff from Islam to create like my own religion. It was kind of stupid when I think about it now, but I was just trying to create like a code because I had sons that were growing up, and I didn't want to use like a lot of people. They just go off of like their morals are based off of what America says, like what the law says, but the laws change and the laws don't really have us in favor. Most of the laws were created to put us in prison to maintain slavery because slavery was only replaced with the prison system. Like slavery was never abolished. So like and then like some people think that like, oh, my code of ethics comes from my conscience, but I don't really believe in like a universal conscience because like there are people whose conscience tell them it's okay to kill certain people. Some people's conscience, so I don't believe in that either. So I needed like a code to teach my children. So I was like stealing from Islam, but as I was stealing, I was like, "Ooh, I like this, I like this." And then I met a kid who was like, he was going through like a divorce and everything, and he was struggling, but he just happened to be praying in my building at work. And one of the guys I work with, he was like, "Hey, I think there's somebody praying in our auditorium." I'm like, "What, you guys head down?" He's like, "No, I think he's doing like a Muslim prayer." And I linked up with him and he kind of ushered me into Islam. I think I'm like 10, 15 years older than him, but he like helped me get into Islam, maybe 10 years. And he just happened to be a rapper and he like forced me to get on the song. So that poem is the song that I wrote to be on the track with him, but I just turned it into like a poem. So that's where that comes from. The song was called "Change My Mind." That's why I say, "How can you change my mind when you ain't out here dying?"
wow.
And, as some of y'all know, like a lot of my pieces have a whole lot of symbolism. I appreciate it. I did it because you're here, so you could catch a lot of the stuff I was saying better than some of the other people. Because there's some Muslim stuff in there. Yeah, I try not to use as much like figurative language in there and metaphors, but there's still a lot. There's still a lot.
Wow, that's neat. That's neat. So are you is that a mixing piece on your Creek? Is that like a music like a mixer?
What's that?
Is that your keyboard or is it that?
Oh no, this is just an Apple keyboard.
Oh, okay. It looks
I'm
like
like designing flyers.
Yeah, okay. It looks like one of those, where you can cue in music, like an audio. From here, it looks like it's got all those buttons and that.
I do have stuff like that in here.
I'm sure you do. For some reason, I can tell. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. So I'm gonna.
I got a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this poem. This is from Clarice. I'm gonna read one of her. She gave me her book. She's got some really neat poems in here. And this is
Yeah, I'm enjoying her book too. It's really good.
it's called You Saw It Within Me. What is it you saw that I did not? When I was so frightened and distraught, did you notice a sign behind me that my own eyes could not see? Did someone whisper to you that my best was yet to be? I did not see the signage. I only saw the dark. I heard no words of comfort. My soul was cold and stark. But you told me that was not my end. You spoke of my tomorrows. You spoke of me succeeding as I spiraled in my sorrows. You saw it within me, and now it has come to be. How can I ever thank you for believing in me?
Mm.
That's neat. She's an amazing poet. She really is. So
Yeah, she was busy today.
you know what? Yes and no. I did reach out to her. She's gonna be on the cover of the next magazine, BWA. Woo-hoo. So she's
Yes.
probably, working on that. I got her cover together, but she's working on the article.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So who's up next? Is that you?
Tina might as well go first.
Yeah, I'm out of it. Okay. All right. So this one is called Death. I was so angry when you passed. Everything in your home going was done half-assed.
Ooh.
We never even got to see your body. Never got my last look. I just wanted one last look. Was even deprived in your death. I would have done whatever it took. Now it's too late. You're in your heavenly bed. Maybe God didn't want my last vision of you a cold shell because your soul has taken off and shed its flesh. You've avoided hell. You repented on your deathbed, I was told. My heart rejoiced because I felt so cold. You've received your calling, and I walk around in a constant daze, falling, just falling.
Wow. That was neat.
Thanks.
Woo.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, you never expect to go to a funeral or a homegoing and you don't even get to see the person there, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've experienced that before. And then actually, my mom's boyfriend, he passed away on Christmas Day, you guys. And so that was really, it was really just different. But then my best friend was like, "Hey, look at it this way. What better day to go is on a holy day when the angels are singing and God is right there,
Yes.
everybody's celebrating." And I was like, "Okay, I can go with that." So I've been trying to like help my mom to, be happy and all of that again. And so death is part of life, and I think that, like I was telling her, how we respond to it, we have to change what we've normally seen in the past and how people deal with it. The crying and all of that depression, like I don't think that that's really, we're sorry that we don't have them anymore, but the memories and all of the good times, nobody can take that away, so
Right. That's true.
yeah.
I think we have it backwards because the word of God says that we're supposed to mourn when a baby is born because the baby's coming into this world of hell. But it says we're supposed to rejoice when the person dies. But
Yeah.
we actually we do it in reverse.
Yeah. Wow.
And the first time I read that, I was like blown away. Like, why do we do it this way then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something. That's something to think about. But
Yeah.
it's part of life, part of life. All right, who's up next?
I think
No,
they were. Oh yeah, Ace.
yeah, I don't know. Trying to think when I I can't remember when I wrote this piece. It was a while ago. But I'll just do it. It's called Politically Charged. Based on the statistics, that shouldn't even exist. 1 in 3 Black men are locked behind bars. The same verses penned powerfully in an attempt to erase or at least tarnish permanent scars. Prison industrial complex. ALEC assists along with numerous large corporations and continues such sick manifestations. In the words of my brother, people die every day. And hey, that doesn't make it right. Post-civil rights era, where are our heroes? I can sit back and stack more zeros. Maybe I'm a puppet too in this corporate structure, yet utterly refuse to sport a monkey suit. No shucking job to keep this culture alive. Might dab on occasion, off pure elation. A white lady up in Jersey asked us, how do you laugh at it all? Because I'm still here, baby, can't you see? BMW, Black man working. Supreme mathematics couldn't have a line of form more ominous outcome. White flag in my back pocket, not ready to raise a child up or in. Let us begin on a unified accord. See, my Honda was a 9-4. Numerous hotboxing until the cops stopped us for possession. Senior in college, so you know young brother stressing. I'm sitting there questioning self-worth and even purpose, yet at the same time looking at myself as a hypocrite. Talking about Rob, you graduated from a PWI, correction. I got love for real people. Those I acknowledge as kinfolk are rooted in the truth. See, you don't know they have barely a quarter. I'm the brothers, completely out of order, yet in somehow perfect alignment. Realizing we are kings and queens, true royalty to 1%. But it's frustrating because somebody's gonna come along and label this piece radical, politically charged. Nah, it's just honest.
Wow.
Woo!
Oh my goodness. Woo.
That was
Yeah,
good.
it's an old piece, man. It's an old piece.
Yeah, but you know what? It's still relevant.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's why I keep it. That's why I keep performing it.
Yeah, it's still
Yes.
relevant and it's you know that's the part is that we're still going through that. Like, it's
Yeah.
even though we've come far from, maybe some of our ancestors, but in some ways it's like we're still going through some things, but just in a different format, in a different fashion. It's not the chains and all of that, but it's other things.
It's like mental shackles now because a lot of the stuff we digest. I think I try to be real careful on social media because a lot of the stuff that's out there to digest ain't the best stuff. Like especially with music because it's so accessible. And I think now I feel overwhelmed every Friday because I'm like, oh wow, they got so much new music that came out and kids are going on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's a lot. It's a lot more to live for than like going viral or like being a
Yes.
Right.
being because I mean you could do some people do it and they know how to work the system, but yeah, I
Right.
think with a lot of the imagery that we see or the imagery that's from the past, like it's I think we definitely as people and black people, I feel like we need to be doing better, because
Oh, absolutely.
the kid's gonna grow up eventually, and I feel like if you don't have that structure, that solid structure, like
No,
what are you passing on to them? Like what kind of legacy is that?
right. I
Yeah.
totally agree
True.
because who was that was saying I heard it was Cat Williams and he was talking about how the kids in is it Gen Z, they don't read and they
Mm,
Mhm.
don't really write because they're on their phones.
Yeah,
that's
So that
crazy.
whole even though they're reading on a phone, they're not reading
Right.
books.
they're not reading
Right.
they're not reading cover to cover like we had to do. They
Right.
don't even, they don't even write cursive no more.
That's what he
Right.
said too. They don't even
Yeah,
write cursive. They don't even know
yeah,
how to.
Mm. No.
They don't even know how to read a clock.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
sad, man.
It
They don't
is sad.
Yeah.
What
And
is
Yeah.
going
so
on?
it makes you wonder, like, these people are gonna be running our country, they're gonna be running things. They don't even know anything,
Right.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Right.
know, and that part is scary, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't the customer service is gone.
Oh yeah.
It's out the it's gone. And they'll
Yeah.
look at you like, what's your problem? Why are you complaining about it?
Right.
Like you're the problem because you're complaining, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're spending your money and they're treating, yeah, they're really rude. And it's like, they'll be cursing behind the counter. Like, do you see me standing here?
They don't even care. I'm telling you, when I was teaching at the college, even and it was all girls in the class. I had to stop and say, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." Like they were having little side conversations as if like, who am I talking to?
Right.
Then when I
Mhm.
called them on it, they were like, whoa, like nobody's ever told us. I'm like, excuse me, you cannot talk while I'm talking. This is a
Right.
classroom. And I'm like, why am I even saying this? Like, you guys don't know this? That's respect.
Right.
If someone's teaching something, you need to listen. I
Right.
have my license, you don't.
Right.
So I just realized that, wow, they're lost.
They
Uh,
are.
and they don't realize how lost they are.
Mm-mm.
I think a lot of it changed when they were able to call the police if they were getting a spanking or if they were getting disciplined. And then they took all the discipline out of, they took it away from parents, so to speak. And so then when you're not disciplining your kids, and I don't mean, abuse, I'm talking about discipline. They need discipline, period. They don't know anything. And so when they do something wrong, they need to be accountable for it so that they won't do it again. And so somehow all of that got mixed up into abuse, and then now they're getting nothing, and now they're just out there.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, but it just seems like we're going backwards in some ways. We're going backwards, as it relates to racial issues. Going backwards, there's no way, like my grandmother and great grandmothers, those people, you would not talk back to them. You'd be
Mm.
scared to talk back to them. The way they look at you and the
Yeah.
if they were, forget it. you know, it, and,
Yes.
and so it's just, we have that level of respect. And I just don't see that, with a lot of the kids. Even my younger son, he notices it, with his friends and stuff. And so it's very sad. It really is. I'm glad you
Yes.
bring that out, Ace, because that poem, like you said, you wrote it a while back, but there's still issues.
Prevalent.
It's
Yeah.
still relevant.
It's got, I don't know if you ever seen the movie. I don't know if it's on Netflix because it's probably been a while, but it's called 13th. And it was talking about the 13th Amendment. It's talking about like systemic racism and
Mhm.
um, it talked about like the school to prison pipeline, like kids that drop out of school are like X amount percentage more liable to like end up in jail. Like
Right.
it was heavy. I think don't quote me on it, but I think Ava DuVernay had something to do with it. Maybe she produced it or wrote it. I don't know what she did, but she did something with it.
Okay.
It was really out. And I just remember watching it on a Friday, and I woke up like Saturday morning and wrote that piece. Like, it just came out of me. Like, it's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it spoke to you in a way to where, like you needed to add to that, and that's good that you picked up on that, instead of it just being a thought in your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. If I move by something, I definitely got to put it on paper. At least if it's not even a piece, it could be some ideas or something like,
Right. Right. Wow. Very good. Very good.
Excuse me, I just gotta run to the bathroom real quick, guys.
Okay.
Oh, that water.
I know. Water is good. Water is good. So is everybody, do you guys like sports at all? Or basketball, football? Or am I the only one?
I
I think
used to be more real.
yeah, I definitely used to be, especially like as a kid and teenager. But I don't know. I think my friends are like way more um like they. I think sometimes they end up going to games and stuff. So like they really are
Yeah,
like truly invested.
yeah.
One of my good friends is actually a coach down in Georgia. I think he's head coaching the JV team right now. So he's trying to
Oh,
make some things happen with that. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. Yeah, I love sports. I always have, and I'm a fanatic. I can't
Wow.
get enough of it. Could not
That's how I am with fashion. I love fashion.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I do
I
too.
wish I had thousands to buy clothes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So who's up next?
I am.
All right.
Roby.
Okay. And this one is called Amber Alert.
Mm.
That trip to VA was supposed to be summer vacation. Nothing more, nothing less. The stress didn't hit her until summer was coming to an end. That's when the fear began to sit in. Missed phone calls with no return calls. Now she knew something was wrong. Anybody returned that little girl back to her mother. She loved her. Anybody returned that baby girl back to her mother's arms. Don't do this. Don't break this bond. After 3 boys, this is what her heart longed for. Her only girl. Something has to be wrong with you. A cold-hearted snake, knowing on that date forever her children was going to be missing. Late nights on her hands and knees praying and wishing for their return. For the rest of her life in this world, with 3 parts of her womb being groomed to hate her, finally arriving in the mail custody and divorce papers. Anybody give that girl back to her mother. Mommy lived many years in pain, crushed and heartbroken. The man she fell in love with, mine and love was gone before the marriage even started. Shotgun wedding. He was forced to be a man. No real feelings inside to be her husband. Was never his plan. So now he made her life a living hell. Though baby after baby she had to live life so no one could tell or see a broken smile. A year to bond with her only girl. Then she was snatched away, given to his next woman to raise, and this woman got all the praise. Anybody, please give that little girl back to her mother. Her baby girl was forced to hold family secrets that weighed heavy on her daughter's heart. Those family secrets played a part of why her baby girl grew up depressed. Through the years, dark depression set in. Her daughter had to grow up in a house with dark sins. Anybody give that little girl back to her mother so she can know that her mother really did love her. She didn't just give her little girl away. She fell in love with her from the first glance of that little face. But that mother-daughter relationship was forced out of place. That little girl was never given back to her mother. It took years for her baby girl to finally realize her mother really did love her. To that other woman, she would never allowed her daughter to stay. That mother was forever brokenhearted until she passed away.
Mm.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Her heart always dealt with the hurt of losing her children because there was no Amber Alert. I did not think that poem was going to do this.
Oh,
Girl, it's beautiful.
yes.
Mm.
Words have that effect.
Poetry is life.
Yeah.
Very moving.
Very moving. And it's it happens so much, it's so, kids are like, sometimes they're used as a weapons against from one parent to the other, and they're in the middle, and it's horrible.
It's true. They're used like pawns.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Terrible.
Amazing. Mm, Amber Alert.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
Nairobi.
read that. I didn't think, and I was trying to. I didn't think that I was going to move. I didn't think that I was going to do that. Not tonight. I didn't,
You
because I don't know.
know how words are going to affect you, like you said tonight, or it just, I don't know. You just never know. You could say a poem one night and it affect you one way, and another night it'll hit you in another way. And so uh, I was right there with you. I honestly will say that I kind of, which I'm looking at writing a poem about this story where me and my real father, it's kind of like the same thing. So my mom kind of took me away from him, but then he turned around and he's still in love with my mom, but he's married, and so his wife pretty much got me out of their life because I look like both of them. I remind him of my mother. And so,
Mm.
I don't have a relationship with him. I mean, he literally told me, don't ever call me again. I never want to again. And so when you talk about that, it is deep and it hits home to me because I feel like, I'm kind of part of that. Um, Is it painful? Yeah, but I had to find a way to move forward, and not sit in that spot because the ball is not in my court, it's on him, right? He's the dad. And I think once you become a parent, then you start seeing like, hey, wait a minute, this is how I raise my kids. I love my kids. I take care of them, blah, blah, blah. What's your story? You're supposed to be my father. And in a time where I need you the most, you can't, there's a drop off. So look, Amber Alert.
Yeah.
So
Very good. Very good.
thank you for that. Thank you. Poetry is life.
Yes. You go, Creek.
Creek.
Like, it's funny because it seems weird. Like when y'all watch this back, when Kiva started crying, I started smiling. But it's only because like we do features at Asylum Sundays, and I've been like hinting at Kiva to do a feature, but I've also been like hinting at her that we did a concert recently, and Kiva came. It was supposed to be like like an intimate thing where you're able to explain your poems and or your songs, but we had a lot of poets, or we had two poets, um, but you explain your work and like just let people get inside of your brain and in your life, and just knowing some of the poems that we've heard from Kiva over the last couple of years, I know people would love it. So I'm like, hey Kiva, you want to do a concert? So this is my first time hearing this one, and to see her like break down like that, and to see everybody, I can see everybody's faces and to see y'all react. I'm like, oh, this will be wonderful in the concert. It'll be perfect. My
You gotta
promotions,
do it now, girl.
people will be perfect because like there are people here who know and love or Nairobi, my bad. There are people here who know and love her because she does her own open mic and everything like that. But some people that come to the asylum don't really know like her whole story, and then they don't know the different sides. Like she got the like Michael Jackson poem, and then she like got the conscious stuff. Then she got the stuff to make y'all cry. So I think that would be very valuable. Same thing with somebody else on here that decided to not be in the play that we had, and won't do a feature with us. But that's fine, Ace. I'm not gonna say no names. That's fine.
Yo, what? There's the bus. I'm gonna throw you under it.
And he was driving the AC down the what you know you and he was driving the bus.
My soul hurts right now.
That's all love. I'll do this piece because I was talking about like Islam and stuff. I'm not going to explain the whole thing. Okay, I'll do this one instead. So I wrote this piece when I was trying to figure out. I don't think I did it here. I've done it here, but I was trying to figure out, religion and everything. And like sometimes, like even if you know what religion you're going to follow, especially as you're growing up and you're going through different changes, whether or not you're going through divorces or you're going to college, just different changes in life. Like you're just like God doesn't speak directly to us. Like you can't actually hear his voice. Some people believe you can, but I don't, right? So like sometimes you don't know when he's giving you like direction or when he's giving you clues. Like sometimes we'll be like, like God send me the right man or send me the right woman. And like there's someone right there, like next to you that you're overlooking, or like, like God help me, give me a sign, and the signs already exist. So like this piece was me like frustrated with God. This is probably the most PC piece like that I had. So I don't know if y'all remember Funk Flex. Y'all know Funk Flex, right? Funk Master Flex.
Mm-hmm.
He got mad. Yeah, so yeah, you from New York, so you definitely know Funk Flex. He got mad when, and he was like, all you radio DJs that want smoke, call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke. And I thought that was the dumbest and most hilarious thing I've ever heard somebody yell. So when I did a competition, it was his competition. I used this piece and I changed the first lyric. So that's where it's come from. So if that lyric sounds stupid when I say it, that's why. Because I was trolling Funk Flex because I have a problem and I troll people all the time. So, that's how it goes. If God is sending signals and smoke, call me Mr. Chimney. Motherfucker, I want smoke. I'll take a long toke, pause, swallow, and won't choke. If this is just a message for Redmond, call me Rojo. Puff till I get high enough to see you, then you no-show. Stepping out on faith, God, but I'm missing 4 toes. That means there's 6 left. With 2 more missteps, I'm falling like that fire-ass gin that lost his step. Speaking false tongues like my lip is cleft. But you'll never speak back, so I drop my seat back, staring at the cutty ceiling, puff until I see cracks. Hashed out, brown crumble, falling into creeks laps. Time turned his back on my best moments. Relapse. It's like I pray to you for no reason. White girl creeping in the grass, 4 seasons. Charging me by the hour, make me happy for seconds, corrections, seconds, but like you, she'll never answer questions. I tell her mama pull over, cause I can't let you drive no more. Can't sit here and watch you make me alive no more. If so, then I'm in store for pain and more heartache. I'm battered and bruised, no more can this car take. Outrun my future in the car chase. Looking back, her bushes whack, mine playing tricks like Scarface. She sucked me till I ain't got a bill on me. A sap surrounded by bees, I'm scared and I'm lonely. Abandoned by my homies, pursued and polluted honey, like I'm mad thirsty and hungry, like a mad manish and horny. But I'm too hard to give a fuck. Baby girl, how can I get down when I only feel like giving up on life? And everyone I love, it's hard to keep your head up when it's only hell above. I look down, the cliff is coming, rolling off the side. I'm screaming, why, God? But there's no fucking reply. And that was it. That's all I wrote.
Wow.
There's a lot of symbolism in there too. Some people get it, some people don't.
Creek, I feel like a lot of your joints, at least in my head, because I got friends that make rap, do raps and all that. Like a lot of your stuff sound like it got a cadence and it got obviously the punchlines and like like, it's crazy, man. I definitely got mad respect for your style.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That
Good.
actually started off as a rap. It's on Spotify.
Oh, word, sight.
Yeah, I ain't slick. I thought I could trick y'all. I ain't slick.
Yeah.
I'm sure too that's a lot of people's journey to find God,
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't find him easy, or he doesn't find them easier, you know.
Mhm.
So
They
yeah, that
say
was
every
deep.
step you take one step towards God, he'll pull you 2 steps toward him. So yeah, he got me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to stay on my dean, keep from doing stupid stuff. And
Got to try.
Very good. So you said it's on Spotify, so you have put that to music. You have a beat
yeah,
to that?
I only have I took a lot of stuff down, and the only reason I didn't take that one down is because somebody said it like it reached them. Because like there's cussing in it, and like I'm talking to God like that, but it's just genuine, like how I felt. So that first part was I was talking to God, like I'm talking about like how instead of like being able to talk to him like I'm using drugs.
Mhm.
So like when I say like you don't ever speak back, so I dropped my seat back. So like I used to smoke in my cutlass. I would only smoke tobacco, but it's symbolic. So I dropped my seat back and I say staring at the cutty ceiling. So the cutty is the cutlass, but I'm also having a lot of sex. So cutty means sex, right? So
Mm.
staring at the cutty ceiling, puff until I see cracks. And if you know those old cars, like the ceilings on those, like they crack up, and that's why I say hashed out. So I'm smoked out, brown crumble falling into creek's lap, because the ceiling in my cutlass does like brown stuff comes off the ceiling, but that brown crumble is also that marijuana. And then I say time turned its back on my best moments, relapse, because I keep going back to the God we know. Like when you smoking and you having a lot of sex, or you're replacing God with other things, you're gonna keep turning back to that God until you're able to establish a relationship with actual God, right? So then in the second part, I'm talking about cocaine. I'm talking directly to the cocaine, because before I said white girl creeping in the grass 4 seasons, because I was lacing my weed with cocaine, and cocaine is white girl.
Wow.
White
Mm.
girl creeping in the grass 4 seasons, and I'm equating that to the sex also, because I say charging me by the hour, make me happy for seconds, and I'm messing that up because I'm inebriated, right? But like if you ever go to a hotel where you can pay by the hour, there's sex happening. That's
Mm.
and I say, and like you, she'll never answer questions, because having a whole bunch of like dumb sex is not going to answer your questions in life.
Mm-mm.
Using cocaine is not going to answer your questions in life. So I'm steady trying to find answers. I'm turning to the wrong places. So then
Right.
by the second part of that, I'm talking directly to cocaine because I'm immersed in it. So like this is my only friend. This is my girl now. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It's replaced my actual girlfriend, everything. So I say, but I'm pleading with her. I say, pull over. I can't let you drive no more. Like I can't make you help you control me anymore. uh,
Wow.
can't sit here and watch you make me alive no more. So that's a double entendre. You're making me alive because I feel like I'm alive when I'm on cocaine, but you're making me alive no more, because no more will I be alive if you continue.
Right.
If I continue
Right.
using it, it's a lot. Like if I keep going, it'll be hours.
Deep.
I love that because now that
Yeah,
you're breaking it down, it's like, whoa,
definitely. Yeah.
I'm seeing the whole, the whole side, both sides of it. And so
Yeah.
that's deep.
Yes.
Even
Yeah.
that piece has a troll in it, because they say like if you use a whole lot of cocaine, sometimes you'll have a hard time uh, getting erections naturally. When you first start, it'll be very easy when
Crazy.
you use cocaine. But
Yeah.
after a while, you abuse that muscle. So like that's why I say. So I pay homage to Beyonce. Every piece I ever write has some type of homage to some type of artist. But what I say, that's why I say, a sap surrounded by bees. I'm scared and I'm lonely. Scared and lonely is a Beyonce song. But but I'm too hard to give a fuck. That's me trolling cocaine users. Probably
Mm.
shouldn't do that. But and that's why I say, baby girl, how can I get down when I only feel like giving up? Because that depression will keep me from having sex sometimes too.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, you should, because you know what? people are still doing cocaine. They're still doing all of that still. I thought it was something, especially, from the 80s when they're smoking the crack. People are still doing that. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah,
didn't you
that's
see what it
crazy.
did to the people before? Like, what, why would you want
Yeah.
to continue? But it's it's a god to some people, and it's got a hold on people,
Yep.
and they can't break away. That drug right there. It's wiped a lot of our people.
Yeah, wipe them out.
Mhm. And they could not, no matter. And then, what was so, and I speak to this because my husband was on crack cocaine and I didn't even know it. I was young in my 20s and I did not know it. But then when I think about some of the things, how he would hide doing it, and then when he wasn't on it, he was a different person. He was
Yep.
who he was, but then when he was on it, it was different. And it was only about that, getting more of that, and like you said in your poem that before you know it, that takes over. That is your
Mhm.
girlfriend. That is your wife. Or
It's
your
Mhm.
driving.
that's your everything. And at that point, they don't really realize that it has them like that. They will deny that they still have
Yes,
control, and they really don't. And
it's true.
terrible drug, terrible.
Terrible.
Um, thank you for that explanation. That you could
Yeah.
definitely, you speak to a lot of people because, like I said, people are still doing that, and if they hear that, then maybe they can, something will click. Like, wait a minute, I get it. That this is a road to no end. It's not going. You're not going anywhere. Like you're gonna stay in that space.
Mhm. That's right.
Wow. Okay, so I'll read this one. Thank you for that, Creek. All these poems have been really, I've been like I can go back in my history and, relate. It's really a trip. This poem is by Clarice and it's called The Lesson. And
Mm.
I realize that it is time, you see, to teach you how to treat me. Not as you want, but as I say. So get this lesson down today.
Mm.
Regardless of the mood you're in, if worries are making your head spin, whether your mood is high or low, don't lash out at me for your own ego. You might be stressed and want your say. I know at times it gets that way, but watch how you come to me and talk. Because trust me, I can turn and walk. I
Mm.
won't engage or act in kind, won't leave that kind of rep behind. I'll stay respectful, but I will turn to you and tell you just a thing or two. Like, get yourself together, friend, before you speak to me again. Catch yourself, regain control, calm your mind, and ease your soul. I will listen. I'll be here. Do not think that I don't care. What you're feeling truly matters. So I'll try to give you helpful answers. So come on now. I believe that we can start anew. Tell me, please, how do you do?
Mm.
So, I, I said that poem because I think that we can't say it enough about teaching people how to treat us, especially with things being as they are, and some of the conversations that we talked about, the disrespect and of kids, and people saying things, and sometimes you just kind of like let it go by. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. And I stopped doing that. I start calling people on things that I don't like.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, teaching people how to treat us is very important.
Yes.
Coming back in, let's see. Somebody's coming in. I don't know who it is. Hello.
Hi, this is Teach.
Oh, hey,
Hi,
Teach.
T.
Oh,
Hi, how you
Hey,
doing?
What's up, Teach?
you're right on time.
Oh, good. I'm sorry to come in so late in the process, but I'm here at one of my author's book releases.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
cool.
Well, you know
What
what?
release is it?
Go ahead and give us some work you got.
Okay. Actually, I created this tonight. The author had the idea of, as like an early activity when people are still getting there, she had cut apart book pages on tables, and she wanted people to find the lines from that to glue onto paper to compose a love poem.
Wow.
And so I did mine on a paper plate actually, because it's actually 4 parts, and you can start in any of the parts. So you can go around to read the poem, starting in E. Like, I'm going to start for y'all at part 1, but I could just as easily start at part 2 or 3 or whatever.
Okay.
So, she was the exit. The door frame shattered into stinging splinters. Locket behind him. Every instinct rebelled. Only this victim remaining, circling the house. He couldn't leave. Realization: nothing is intrinsically valuable. The value of everything is attributed to it. Even truth. Even this truth. Blinking in neon blue and white. See, water grows colder and colder and colder, and suddenly it's ice. The day grows darker and darker, and suddenly he's dead. One instance was added to another and another to that, and then suddenly the total wisdom: you're the one. She stepped toward him with her hands clenched, pretty stiff, similar conflicts. On the other hand, she couldn't see or hear anywhere near him. The prince admits unknown evils you want to be rid of, looking for entrance, still more alone than ever in her life, bereft. The rain had begun with its message, but she'd be back for more. May not know it yet, but she was moved. She was all that a man could want in a bed partner, but the clumsy ironies of science blushed. He stood on firmer ground. He moved along the hall and through the living room towards the exit. She was the door frame shattered into stinging pieces. Locket behind him.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Wow.
So that's all. That's all
nice.
made out of cutout segments from like 3 or 4 books. I don't even know what the books are.
So you just
Wow.
wrote that tonight?
That's
Yeah,
really
just
good.
like an hour ago.
That's
Wow.
That's
amazing.
cool.
That was
Who's up?
great.
Like I said, it's all cut out and glued down to a paper plate so I could turn it while I read it.
Great. That's a lot of words for a paper plate. Who's
Yeah.
book release was it?
Well, now I got to keep it. It's not even that great of a plate. Anyways, thank you for letting me in last minute like that.
Sure. Ace was asking you a question. Go ahead,
Oh, I'm
Ace.
sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was just excuse me, I was just asking whose book release it was.
Oh, Faith Griffin.
Okay.
She has become a regular at the venue, but she's only been coming here for about 2 years.
Okay.
And her book is called Lacrimosa, a tragic love story in 3 acts.
Okay. That's what's up.
That's a cool idea. That was very interested in how, cutting a paper plate and putting it together. That was cool.
Yeah.
That
Her
was.
base idea is one I had seen before that David Bowie used to do. He would write a song, and then he would cut all the lines apart and reorder them, put them together, and now that's the song they'll do.
Wow.
That sounds like super difficult. Because it
Yeah.
could go either way. It could be like the hit or the flop. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll bet more than a good share were flops, but he did actually have a couple of hits doing that. Fame is one.
Hmm. That's interesting. I like that concept because you know it's repurposing at its finest, you know,
Yeah.
totally pulling something else out of you know piece of work, and so that's amazing. Love that. Okay,
And thank you again.
thank you, Teach. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. We've been around a couple of times and we've been talking and reciting and everyone's spoken. So
And I'm sorry I missed what has transpired.
oh, it's no problem. We did record this session, so you can
Okay, good.
you'll be able to hear it again. And so as we wrap up today, thank you all so much. This has been an amazing show. And it seems like it's evolving. It's just getting deeper and I love it. I enjoy it so much. And so with that, our next show is going to be February. Let's see, what is our date here for February? First Friday? Let me see. Hang on. And it'll be the same time, and hopefully I can get all my little issues worked out. Let's see, February. So that's gonna be February 2nd.
Oh, wow. Okay.
February 2nd.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day.
Cool.
All right.
Yes. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the show. And thank you, Poet, for contributing. Your work is amazing. I love all of you, all of your work. I hope that you guys enjoy your coffee mugs. Hopefully we're gonna get some t-shirts made.
Yes, definitely.
You know,
Yes.
keep this thing going, you know, and just, you know, promote it, get this work out there because all of you are geniuses in your own way. And so I'm just happy to be a part of it. So with that, we will close off. I know it's late. You guys have a great evening.
I just wanted to show you real quick one of my books.
Oh, wow, through my eyes. And you got Tupac. Oh my.
Yes. This is one of his books. And the
Yeah. Oh, yes.
back. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we had that discussion about Tupac. But you know what, too, is that maybe next time we can find some, you know, some artists who have some deep songs that because that's poetry as well. And we can recite those and just make it fun. We can do some other things. I think it's gonna be cool to do that. So
Yes, yes. Look at that back, y'all.
oh my God, wait a minute. I can always see the back of his head. Wait a second.
Wait, let me put it up
Hold it up a
closer.
little bit. Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got like a shirt with a V-neck or something.
Oh yeah.
And you can see his tattoos.
Yeah. He has a lot of amazing tattoos. Yeah, Tupac's amazing. He's definitely a
Yes.
killer.
He's just in a lane of his own. Tupac was just in a lane of his own. That's all I have to say.
Oh yeah, he's in a lane of his own.
No, it's true.
Yes. So I will say R.I.P. Tupac, or or have a good life, or what, I don't know. So
Yes. Yeah, because the only thing is if he did do the Machiavelli, then he has to stay like hidden, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Too far.
Yeah.
All right, people, I love you all, and we will see you next February 2nd, Groundhog Day. The Poets Lounge coffee mug. Yes, if you would like a coffee mug, reach out to me and we can get one out to you. Thank you all so much. Have a good evening.
Love
Bye,
you
everybody.
guys.
Guys.
Bye, y'all.
Can't wait to look back on the show. Peace, everyone.
Bye. Peace.